You won. I'm sorry, these awards are so confusing. Outstanding achievement in audio design?
Right.
Awesome. For Death Stranding?
Yeah.
Okay, I love the audio in Death Stranding. Let me just tell you this, like when a BT appears or just even the grass rustling, all these different things. I think it's some of the best audio I've ever seen in a game. Also when the music kicks in, when you're walking down a hill. How much iteration is required to get that feeling so right?
One word, a lot.
Until we can't anymore. We just keep going until we can't anymore.
Because it's crazy. There's moments in that game where audio and music make you feel emotions just because of...
There's a lot of decisions that happen based on what the story is coming through, the visuals that are coming through, how we want the player to feel, and the experience that we want the player to have at those moments. And a lot of it comes down to getting the content in, mixing it, feeling what's right, and then swapping it out again and saying not good enough or saying we can do better.
That's it. It's a massively iterative and collaborative process, right? I think that's what making video games is in general, right? Particularly for the entire soundscape, right?
Yeah, because it's about the storytelling.
Yeah.
I think with audio design, especially though, and I make electronic music loops, you hear the same sound over and over. You almost drive yourself insane, and it almost requires a team and other ears at times when you're working so intensely on the same thing. How big is your team? It seems like it's massive, and what kind of collaborative effort is required to execute such a grand scale of a game like Death Stranding?
It requires like a unified creative vision, right? And I think for the sound and the music teams, right, we work with all the creative stakeholders, and we contribute to that vision, and we evangelize that throughout all the teams, and we contribute to that as well. So I mean, like, there's a lot of talented people, right? A lot of talented people with a lot of disciplines working on these games.
Well, we had, I think, 4 or 5 people in Tokyo at Kojima Productions, including the audio director and composer, Ludwig Forssell, who wrote about 7 hours of music for this game.
Crazy.
Wrote 7 hours. Usually our composers write about 2 to 2.5 hours. This guy was prolific. And then we worked directly with the teams over a number of years on this project. And we had maybe about 10 sound people between cinematics and in-game working on as far as dialogue. I think we had about 3 or 4.
And then countless engineers.
Yeah, engineers and localization
and
and music group.
right? Like
Yeah.
all the
Just all
musicians,
comes together.
Voice actors.
like the
And
composers.
we literally make sure that we're all on the same page and we're all working to a singular vision, like Chuck said. Because if we don't have that vision, if we don't have that stake in the story of what's happening, you don't have a compass to move towards.
And we're lucky to have Mr. Kojima for that, because he's...
Absolutely. And, we at Shacknews, we do our own awards. So we gave Death Stranding Best Music. It was also Best PS4 Game of the Year.
Thank you.
Like I said, you could go back and watch the video. I was adamantly pounding the table about how the music made me feel, and also the triggering of sound really just one of the most immersive games I've played in a really long time, and sound design has a lot to do with that. So congratulations.
We really challenged the sound team to step out of normal boundaries and create something that felt fresh and felt new and felt inventive, because this is such a new world. It was Mr. Kojima's first time out doing something other than Snake in 25 years. So it had to stand on its own. It had to have its own soundtrack. It had to have its own vision.
Its own voice, right?
Yeah, and it was so fresh to work on, and the team, like Mike led it and Jody led the dialogue, and it just so good.
I think the thing that defines it is that you're probably hearing it here is just the passion from everybody, right? Like there's a lot of passion and a lot of heart, in addition to a lot of talent that goes into all of this stuff, right? Everybody loves what they do.
Yeah, it comes through in the fan base. Like Death Stranding fans are head over heels for you guys.
Yeah.
Well, and what's great is all the developers are fans, and what really I think sets quality sound apart from others is when we collaborate so well with the animators, the designers, the visual artists, the Loke teams. Everyone is working together to create such a great game as a team, and it shows.